morning, my friends, and welcome. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's so great of you to spend a little bit of time with me here. I'm here in Surfside as usual. I'm seeing all those black birds. Hey, if anybody knows what kind of black birds those are, I think they're black brands. I'm not sure about that. But if you do, drop a comment on our YouTube channel. I know there's a lot of you who are way smarter than me about the bird life here in Southern California. So if you happen to know, that'd be great. There's also a nice area of dolphin playing behind me, feeding behind me. So that makes this a beautiful morning. It's overcast, it's kind of cool. We've got some wind on the horizon. We've got some bluefin tuna biting, some yellowtail, some white sea bass, some halibut. I'm gonna get you caught up on all of that because you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. I get a swig of this coffee with you. Good morning, my friends. Oh, God, is that good. I needed that. Well, it's Sunday morning. It's beautiful. And we've got a lot to catch you up on because we're in a state of flux on fishing. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's not so good. Overall, it's pretty darn good, if I must say so. Hey, please give us a like right now while you're thinking about it. Hit that like button. That really helps us out a lot. Share these videos with a friend if you are enjoying them. And also subscribe to the channel. It makes a big difference to our success, and I appreciate all of your help. All right, let's jump into it. First of all, Eric Weezar is down in Oaxaca, the beautiful state of Oaxaca in Mexico, and he caught his first sailfish. So I thought I'd share that with you all. Eric is watching the morning briefing from Oaxaca. We deeply appreciate it. By the way, we have people watching in Taiwan, in Mexico. I looked at our stats, the Netherlands, the UK, of course, here in the United States of America, Costa Rica, Russia. I mean, it's really crazy how widespread the morning briefing and Friedman Adventures has become. Well over 2 million views now, thousands of you coming to the morning briefings and to our live shows. It is great to have you with us. All right, let's go across the border, talk Ensenada. Going to get a little breezy down there the next day or so, a little breezy, but the guys on the pongas down there are still scoring some bluefin tuna. We shared that Mara sport fishing shot with you just the other day with that gorgeous fish, up there around 166 pounds, if memory serves me correct. And also there's some of that 25 to 40 pound grade fish also over there at Blackfin Sport Fishing. They've had some bluefin tuna here recently. And of course they can fill in nicely with the rockfish, which we'll cover at greater length when we move into that part of the report. But there's still fishing going on there. Now, in San Diego, it's really good, okay? But there's some misses going on also. It's not as like full speed wide open as it once was. But man, I refuse to become jaded about this because some of these trips that went down yesterday were absolutely phenomenal. Great trips out of SD as those crews are so professional and they are so good at taking a novice angler and turning them into a bluefin tuna hunter in virtually one day. My hats are off to all the guys down there. So let's get clear that there are some misses going on. I don't want you to watch the morning briefing and say, oh my God, it's wide open, I'm going to get a bluefin, because hey, it's fishing. Sometimes the little devils don't want to bite, but there are some really good catches going on. Pegasus, nice day on the Pegasus, and what quality fish out of Fisherman's Landing. It was great. I mean, they had on board 20 guys, 32 on the bluefin tuna, but 5 of their fish were from 120 to 150 pounds. That is exceptional fishing. One day we're going to look back at this and say, oh my God. Or your grandkids are going to look at you and say, yeah, Grandpa's into the hooch a little too much again. Bluefin tuna on a one-day trip. I mean, it's really that special. Pegasus with those nice big fish. Most of their fish were 20 to 100 pounds. 20 guys with 32 bluefin. They also threw on 10 yellowtail, find a kelp to make that happen. That is exceptional fishing. No question about it. Hats off to those guys. How about the Liberty on a one-day trip? 40 anglers looking around, working hard. Those one-day trips have been a little bit more hit and miss here recently. Those are tough trips to make it happen. They get in a plunker bite, which is a bite when you got a couple fish going all the time, maybe even one, and then you go to 3, and then you got 4 going, then you got nothing going, then you hang one. A plunker bite is just like that, and by its very definition, very few anglers are getting bit. It's not wide open. You really got to be doing things right. 30 to 40 pound fluorocarbon number 2 treble or number 2 circle hook is going to work really well. And of course, choosing a good hot bait makes all the difference in the world. 80 bluefin tuna on this trip on board the Liberty for 40 guys. Absolutely wonderful fishing. Doesn't get much better than that. Most of the fish in that 20 to 40 pound range with some bigger fish also there. On board the San Diego, my dear friend Jeff Yeomans and many of the guys from the 540 Slingers Club were out there having a great time, including this gorgeous fish. Beautiful catch for one of the guys from the 540 Slingers Club. I'll tell you, that is one heck of a fish to catch on a boat that leaves in the morning and comes back in the afternoon. Overall, slower on the bluefin tuna for the San Diego, 6 bluefin, 83 bonito, but still they gave it their all. Pacific Queen, 1.5 day trip, 53 bluefin tuna for 34 anglers. Maybe you see those delphinus playing and feeding in the background now. I just glanced over my shoulder and saw one jump out of the water, so keep your eye on those little devils back there. So you definitely want to have like 3 rods with you when you go to San Diego right now. You want to have that 30 to 40 pound fly line outfit. Then you want to have a 50 to 60 pound sinker rig type of rod and reel. And also you can throw some of those Daiwa Sakanas, 100 to 150 gram. So we're working really, really good right now. And then you want a 2-speed. Of course, we love Daiwa. 2-speed reel works really, really well with 100 to 130 pound. If you're on a trip that's fishing at night, knife jigs have been good 350 to 450 grams. Sometimes that changes, but that's been pretty consistent here. Those Daiwa SK jigs have been red hot. Really, really doing a number on the fish. So once again, it's a little bit up and down, but for the most part, we're still seeing some outstanding scores down there in San Diego. Once again, some guys get them, some guys do not. Fishing, right? That's the way this game works. All right, let's talk about this sea bass and halibut fishing that's going on. Now, first of all, there's going to be some wind starting tonight, which is going to screw that up. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to fish the Channel Islands tomorrow. Excuse me, and some of our outer islands also. And then the wind will get out of the picture, and it should be back to pretty darn nice by Tuesday. It's going to be actually really nice by our trip on the Endeavor on Thursday. So we got our fingers crossed, because just the other day, the Coral Sea had limits of white sea bass. The guys in the Channel Islands are metering copious amounts of white sea bass that don't want to bite those little devils. Every once in a while, they'll chew, but most of the time, they've just been on the teasing mode here recently. So hopefully that's going to settle down. Remember, those orange and pink lead heads have been working really, really well, like a 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, something like that, 5/0 hook. Sometimes 8/0 hooks is going to be fine if you want to fish that. Those sea bass will bite that. Most of the halibut catches that have been made have been on the reverse dropper loop. You can ask a deckhand when you get on board how to tie that up, and it's anywhere from 4 to 8 ounces. And then the rock fishing has been spectacular, no question about it. You gotta love Greg Obi-Mako, the captain of the Apollo, doing that dance. I gotta see that one more time. Here it is.
Not what you're looking for.
We've got to love Captain Greg Obi-Mako. He is ecstatic to the day that they have going on board the Apollo at a 22nd Street landing. That was on board the Apollo yesterday morning. They were off to the races, and the Apollo dedicated themselves yesterday to fishing exotics. They were looking for a sea bass halibut bite. They weren't out there to catch rockfish on this trip. They end up with 10 halibut and then some miscellaneous fish to go along with it. That is the way it goes when you dedicate yourself to those exotics, man. Greg was just one good bite away from a wide open, full speed bite. And I like that, man. I like fishing for fun stuff like a sea bass bite. You know, when you look back at it, some guys will say, oh man, we could have caught some more rockfish, but it's just one of those things, man. You leave and then that goes wide open and you want to kick yourself. So nice going on the Apollo, working hard to make things happen. On board the Pride, as we've been telling you, they've had some extraordinarily good halibut fishing. They had some more halibut, and they continue to hammer away at it. We had Sean Roberts, their captain, on our show the other morning. Go back and watch that for some great tips. Sean is throwing the towel in on his trip tonight because of the wind. It looks like it's going to be really, really nasty. So he's going to throw in the towel and then run again on Tuesday morning, which incidentally is the day after, or is it? I think it's Scott Buchert's birthday, and Scott will be on board. So bring a cupcake with a candle in it and sing happy birthday to Scott Buchert on Tuesday morning and send me that video, and God knows what I'll do with it. More than likely delete it, but no, I'm kidding. Make sure you wish Scott a happy birthday. He'll be on that trip on Tuesday morning on board the Pride. I'm warning you, Sean, he's coming. Get ready. Freedom yesterday, 2 white sea bass and a halibut. Lots of bottom stuff to go around. The El Dorado went to San Nicolas Island, where they caught copious amounts of rockfish and sheep's head and all of that great kind of stuff. And once again, as we have been mentioning, good bottom bites going on up and down the coast. The city of Long Beach had limits of scoping. Down in San Diego, the Mission Bell had some big old reds. Nice fishing for the bottom fish on the Dolphin, on the Mission Bell, all those guys. Out of Dana Wharf, Sportfishing, the Fury had 3 nice forkies, 3 nice big yellows out there at San Clemente Island, I believe, and lots of rockfish, even some calico bass biting for them. So nothing wrong with those kinds of scores. And other guys that are fishing Catalina Island, Native Sun, had some bass and bonita at Catalina Island. Same thing over there on the Pursuit with good bottom fishing in addition to that. So there's plenty of sack fillers going on. And up there in the Channel Islands, of course, that just is really great rock fishing going on up there. Now we do, as I say, have that weather heading our way. We'll just keep our eyes on it and see where it goes. But it looks like it's going to blow tonight, tomorrow, and then start to come down on Tuesday. Still be breezy in some areas up north, and even offshore in San Diego, breezy, but not unfishable, not anywhere near that. So we'll watch that for you very closely. We have a 2-day trip on the Apollo on May the 31st. It's got 2 spots open, just sold 2. So we got 2 spots open on that. If you would like to join us, just send me a text. And also, we have a trip out of San Diego on the Apollo, fishing on September the 8th, leaving September the 7th out of Seaforth Sportfishing. Those spots are going fast. So if you'd like to join us on a Friedman Adventure trip where I'm videotaping you and your great catch, please send me a text to 657-227-6459. Pegasus is going all week long. We'll watch them very, very closely. Sea Adventure 80 is getting ready to start going the horizon with Bill Wilkerson and the Malahiti. Everybody is getting ready to rock and roll. And again, we're going to watch this whole situation very, very closely. All right, wishing you a wonderful Sunday morning and thanking you for spending some time with me. I'm headed to 22nd Street Landing here this morning because I'm going to present Michael Limon, the young man who wrote the essay about yellowfin tuna, took first place in 8 districts. It's time to present him with his beautiful Daiwa reel. Once again, we thank the wonderful folks at Daiwa for supporting Friedman Adventures and encouraging kids to work hard at school so they can go and do this kind of stuff out on the water. All right, have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon.